Welcome in to the Monday Morning Quarterback UK with your boys Ben, Kriski, Dami and Bids. How are we doing today, boys?
Yeah, I'm doing alright. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, players around the corner. Excited.
How's the week been?
We've been good. Yeah, work. Not too busy. Nice socials. Can't complain. Yeah, finishing. Yeah.
Social.
Yeah.
Your whole life is a social.
And I'm here with my boys. Live completed it.
What are you saying, Bids? How's your week been?
Me, I'm good, man. Life takes. Yeah. What's that?
Enough said.
Yeah, enough said.
Yeah, man, it's
Enough
tired.
said. We keep it moving.
Yeah, it's been a long week. It's been a long week.
It
But we're
has.
here. It's good.
It has been. You're staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning watching the Sunday night game.
Yeah, man. I don't know how you lot do that, man. I conk out.
It's commitment, isn't it?
I put on. I watch the first. I'm there. I'm gonna watch the first quarter. I'll see if it's good. Then I'll watch the rest. 5 minutes in, I'm conked out. I'm done.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Sunday wind down after a busy weekend, and then yes, first game, second game, and then I usually tap out after the third. But fair play. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're watching Red Zone from like 6 o'clock. You watch the first set of games, and then you're like, okay, if there are any good games at 9, I'll continue watching Red Zone, or I'll just watch that particular game.
I have a question about that. Do you exclusively watch Red Zone, or do you like watching a full game?
Yeah.
It depends on what. It depends. So, like, for example, I use Sky to watch it. So, if it's like the Bills or the Chiefs, or it's like the Cowboys, or it's a good team, then I'll watch that game, and then I'll just keep an eye on Red Zone. But if I know like the main game they have on Sky, on the Sky NFL channel, is some like trash game like the Cardinals.
Then you watch.
then I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch Red Zone.
Like the Falcons, yeah, Christmas.
I know the Chargers are good. I support them.
But yeah, no, I'm very much watch a full game, which then lets Sky tap into Red Zone. I'd much rather that.
I think it's easier for someone who doesn't follow NFL as well to watch a full game, because the jumping and cut into different games makes you sort of lose what's going on.
Yeah.
I tried to show my dad Red Zone, and he asked at least on 3 separate occasions, "Wait, what's happening? They're in a different part of the field."
Why are they wearing different colours?
He kept asking me why they're in a different part of the field, and why they're dressed different, and why the score's different.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah,
It's funny. I
that's
had
it.
to change it. I had to stop. It was.
That's on par. That's my brother was watching. A football game with some girl who were just chilling there, and at some point he must have changed it to rugby, and she was like, "I didn't know how to do that." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "They're picking it up now." And he's like, "We switched it over like 20 minutes ago. Like, what are you following?"
Oh man.
Oh.
Too captivating. Yeah.
God,
I must say, I always watch Red Zone, but yeah, I think you're right. If there's like a really good game on, I think I feel like I want to watch it and get into it, but the ads annoy me.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I think it breaks it up. I think if I'm watching Red Zone, it just feels like I'm watching YouTube highlights. Whereas,
True.
if,
Do you know
like
what?
you
That's
say,
good.
if you're following the whole game, then you actually
You're right, because I remember I was speaking to my barber, I had an American barber, and I was telling him about how American footballers need to watch rugby players and learn how to tackle. And then I was like, there's so many missed tackles, this and that. And he was like, you just watch highlights, don't you? And I was like, yeah, but and I watched the full game, I was like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But when you watch the highlights, it looks like, because it's all like offensive highlights, and then miss tackle. Someone gets juked, and then the guy just like dies on the floor, and you're like, you look like you're playing Madden, and you just
that just made me think of all the edits I keep seeing of basketball players getting their ankles broken and getting sent through like plate glass windows and like edited through the floor. Some of those
get buried.
Some of them are so funny. It's like Drew Holiday getting sent to the Holiday Inn. That was
Violation.
I had to restart it. I was laughing too much. Yeah. That's funny. Nice.
Right, should we get into
Cool.
it?
Yeah, let's get
let's
into
get
it.
into
So, in this episode, we want to go through key differences or major differences between the NFL and college. I think we're varying levels of fans in the room. For both sports, for me, I've been really into the NFL since 2011, so yeah, like more than 10 years. But college, only kind of last 3 years or so, I've been really getting into college, and I love watching it. It's so interesting for me. So I thought it'd be really interesting for us to look at why are they so different. There's a lot of rule differences, and maybe why some of those rules exist. And then we can get into that.
Yeah.
Do you have a college team?
I don't know. I've not really thought about which college team I would want to support the most. I don't want a big college team because it feels silly just being like, oh, I'm a big Georgia fan. Like,
Oh, is that why you're a Spurs fan?
No.
unbelievable.
The Georgia look actually came from last 2 seasons.
Really?
Yeah. Weirdly, I don't know if you ever watched QB1.
Yeah.
Jake Fromm. I don't
Yeah,
know, just
yeah,
watched
yeah.
it, and obviously
Okay,
being a Falcons fan as well, I was like, yeah, there you go.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. So yeah, I actually was, before Georgia went back to back, I actually was a fan before that. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah,
What
bought
about-
that camp many years ago.
What about you, Bids? Haven't you got family
I got
in
family.
Georgia?
Nah, not in
Or in
Georgia.
Atlanta?
No, not still. I'll say if you want.
I'd rather you didn't.
Wow.
I got family in Virginia, so I mean, I would just pick I don't know, Virginia Tech or William and Mary, one of them. I don't know which one's better, but they're probably neither of them are good, I guess.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech's okay.
Really?
Virginia Tech are alright. Yeah.
That's my team.
We'll go through some good team names in another episode, and we'll get you seeing how many of them you know. But,
So how many
I want to know a lot. What?
How many teams are actually in college then?
So there's 130 Division 1 college teams.
D1. Oh wow.
So there's different divisions of strength of team in,
Right.
in
Do
college.
they move?
game.
Can you move up and down, or is it just you're just there D1? That's your pool, and you're done.
Yeah, I mean, in theory you can go up, but no one really goes up.
Okay.
Like you can go up. I think you have to get like reclassified as a Division 1 team. I don't really know 100% between Division 2 and Division 1, but no one really looks at Division 2 teams unless you live there
Okay.
or went to college there, which is where a lot of fans come from, is because they went to that college.
Oh yeah, the alumni.
Alumni.
Sort of
Okay. I
aspect
thought
of
it was
huge.
more because of how big America is and how little NFL teams there are, like big franchises, that they choose a college because it's within, I don't know, 100 miles of them, and there's no NFL team within states away.
I mean, there is probably an element of that, but you probably went also to that college,
Yeah.
or a close by college,
Yeah.
because a lot of people stay in state because it's cheaper,
It's a hell of a lot cheaper.
far cheaper. So a lot of people go to that college and then are then fans of that college. I worked with a guy who went to Georgia and was a Georgia fan as a result.
The dogs.
Fair enough.
So no, in answer to your original question, I don't really have a team. Mostly it's just enjoy watching. You mostly see on TV the top 25. It's the main top 25 teams, and anyone they then play.
Oh.
Sometimes they play each other, sometimes they play lower level teams. So it's
I just messed up by picking a team that I'm never going to see on TV then.
Potentially.
yeah. I mean,
Potentially,
if they're playing Alabama, you might see them play.
Hey, watch this space, I'm changing my team.
It's gonna come back. Come back next. Alabama's my team. All right.
Are they number one?
Nah, they were 5th.
I'll take it.
Yeah, right.
I'll take
Yeah,
it.
in the
I like
rankings
underdog.
this
So
year, yeah.
someone who's competing might win. Yeah, be there and up there.
I like seeing. One of the main reasons I like it so much is I get to see players that are going to be good in the NFL. And I get to see like who could actually translate their skills to the NFL. Some of them you're like, you're just good here.
But can you tell? How do you tell the ones that are going to be like a Kyler Murray or someone like that, or what's his face, the cigar smoking guy,
Mac Jones.
Mac
Yeah.
Jones. Oh no, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. That's
Yeah,
the
Joe
one.
Burrow.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard, but
Yeah.
in a lot of cases, if they're a big time wide receiver playing on a big time team, they're probably going to be able to translate that a lot to the NFL because they've been able to be signed by a big team. Whereas one of the reasons that you don't see some of the main or big team college quarterbacks making it in the NFL is because they've had so much help that they're not actually able to translate those skills to the pros.
Yeah.
So that's why you often see that. Like, how good is Stetson Bennett, who's
175 years old.
He is.
Yeah.
400. Yeah, he's old. He's old, right?
Yeah, I think that's one thing I liked when I followed it, well, not this season, but a couple of seasons before, I was quite into it, was that, like you say, like you following players, and then because it leads nicely to the draft, you're then thinking you actually got to go full Football Manager on it and go, yeah, like I'm gambling on these people. Are these actually going to make it? Or the amount of obviously first round busts that you get is just so common.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so it's quite exciting to see a player, because obviously clearly the standard from college to NFL is a big step. So it's quite nice to see, follow those players in college and see actually are they going to make it as well.
Well, less than 1% of college players get drafted.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1% of college. Well, if you think there's 130 Division 1 teams, there's only 32 NFL teams.
And do you have to go to a college in America to be able to be eligible for a draft?
I think you have to. That's a good question. I don't know 100%. I think you have to have played there for a certain amount of time, because you have to have played in the system for 3 years to be eligible for the draft.
Because there was an English winger, can't remember his name now.
Oh yeah,
Lawrence Okoye or something. Or
there's a couple.
Someone, no, boxer. I
I
can't remember his name, but he was like a winger for rugby, and then he went over there, and I don't think he actually made it on. I don't think it was like I think he was a squad player. Like he was.
So he may not have been drafted. He might have then just tried to get on the practice squad.
So you can just do like walk-ons. Like?
Yeah, you can do walk-ons. Yeah, you can do walk-ons.
So I still got a chance.
Yeah, you could. With your
Not
knees?
with that knee,
Your knees? I don't know about that. You've got English-born players who have moved over to America to play. You've got F.A. Obada, who's currently playing. You have Jay Ajayi, who's playing with the Dolphins a few years ago.
That might be who I'm thinking of.
Jay Ajayi, yeah, he's quick and powerful. He was playing for the Dolphins for a while, then he moved to the Eagles.
Well, you think of Marlon Yard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flocked in there.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard to get in, right?
But I reckon
So
there are some
hard.
rugby players that I don't say easily, but that could transition, or if they had similar levels of training. I guess it's hard to say.
It's really
hard to
difficult.
say.
I remember PE teacher at school, his rugby team went over to the US to play a rugby tournament, but it was all old American football players that started playing rugby, and he said they got battered. Like,
They got battered by the
well, not in terms of like level, but just strength, and just they got battered, like collision wise. He was
because they'll be going up like
and most of these guys have been working out since they were 2. Like they're just, I mean, you see these photos of like these 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who are going into college or high school players. Oh, just huge.
Did you see that one the other day? That like 13-year-old or something. It was like 9 foot tall.
A guy looked 40.
They're built different.
He was just
tattoos all of it.
He was striding over these kids, and all it took for everyone to believe it was like some guy who might have been his dad said, "Yeah, he's 12." Alright, I believe it now.
40. Guy's been at HGH since he was 6. He's just got a full beard and a mustache at like 12. Guy's huge. It's huge. But yeah, like that, and then that's really difficult then to move those skills over, because then you have to learn an entirely new game.
But I mean, it's similar to college to NFL. Like, it seems like a different game to me.
Yeah.
Man. The difference in rules surely sets people back. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of examples of those. So, to be ruled a catch in college, you just need to have 1 foot down. Whereas in the NFL, you've got to have both feet down or a
That's a
knee.
skill. The story that's something. As a wide receiver, is ingrained in your brain up until college level. I'm good at doing this. I can do just all one tap back, and then you get to NFL, you might forget first game, and
but from what I've seen is these wide receivers, when they actually get to the pros, they don't tend to struggle with getting both feet down. It's actually mostly about running the right routes and actually catching the ball sometimes.
That's routes.
Oh,
Definitely a route.
My bad.
Do you know have you noticed that all the really good NFL wide receivers don't actually start turning up until the second season?
Yeah. Well,
I guess,
Christian Watson,
Van Jefferson, Justin Jefferson. Like there's some big time wide receivers now who are probably what you'd consider like some of the best in the league. Justin Jefferson was on target to have the most
2,000 yards this year.
2,000 yards this year. He didn't quite get there, I don't think, in the end, because he had a couple of bad games.
Yeah.
Jair Alexander had him in his back pocket that whole game.
He was doing the gritty on him.
He grittied. Oh, that was embarrassing. Yeah, grittied on him. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
And he had
defensive player.
Yeah, grittied on him. Yeah, I was bad. If you go on YouTube and look it up, it's bad. It's tough. It's tough.
That's rude.
So he stopped.
Yeah.
Throughout 2 games, his last 2 games, Justin Jefferson had 5 catches.
Yeah, I did see that he tailed off towards the end because he was on track, wasn't he, to do it?
But to be fair to him, Jair Alexander got in his head a little bit in that game, and then in his last game, they didn't need it. They were already in the playoffs. He didn't need to do anything major in that game. So.
Plus, everyone knows with the Vikings, if you just if you get onto Justin Jefferson, you put 2 on him, Kirk Cousins is still going to try and throw it to him anyway. so it's easier to guard him. So
well, KJ Osborne's been getting loads of targets because he's not been getting open. So yeah. But some of the other major differences, that was obviously a really big one. Pass interference, NFL, it's spot of the foul. So if you commit a pass interference foul, i.e. interfere with the wide receiver or receiver of the ball, when they're trying to grip him up before he gets the ball. Yeah, exactly. In the NFL, it's spot of the foul where they touched him, whereas in college it's 15 yards only. So it just
you get 15 yard penalty.
Yeah, just 15 yards from. It's not.
Even if it's a 60-yard play.
Yeah. So it gives the defensive players a bit of an out.
Yeah, it does.
Well, without knowing that rule, I feel like that makes sense. But there's no telling that the wide receiver would have actually caught the ball. So why should you spot it 60 yards?
It has to be a catchable ball.
Yeah.
It has to be what's considered a catchable ball, like roughly within the radius. You can't launch on the other side of the pitch and call it. But that would just be holding, because would
that still get called with it? I mean, there's 3,000 referees as well in there.
You get hold. Yeah. If the quarterback throws the ball to the receiver and they're getting interfered with before the ball gets there, that's a pass interference. But if the quarterback can't throw it to the receiver because he's been held beforehand and he's not away from the cornerback or the defensive player, it's not. It's just holding.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
But going back to that first rule with having 1 foot inbound, what's stopping at college level them just getting into their brain there, starting to implement all these rules that are different? Surely that will help you with that first season, like you said. First it takes them to their second season to get really good. Would that hold them back at college level?
I mean, it wouldn't, but there will come times where it would make sense for them just to try and keep 1 foot in rather than 2 feet in, because that is the problem with the pros, that a lot of the time you see them focusing so hard on trying to get 2 feet down that they end up either not catching the ball properly, or they catch it but it's pointless. So like completely understand your point, but at the college level, it makes sense. It's been the way for a while.
It's like muscle memory though. Like you grow up playing a sport a certain way, and then you get to the highest level. You expect to look. I've learned my craft. This is what I'm good at. I'm good at doing all this, and you have to change it slightly when you get to that level.
Yeah, just a little bit as well, which can send you such out of whack. It's like but
it's like playing football or English football and getting into the league and like, you can use your other foot now. You got to play left footed. I mean, extreme, but
you can't need the ball.
But I think there's a part of that as to why wide receivers don't break out into their second season, even if they're really, really good. Like that LSU team with Joe Burrow was stacked with players. That championship-winning season was stacked with players, but they're now starting to come good 2 or 3 years in. Whereas first season, you didn't hear much about Justin Jefferson, did you? In his first season,
no, you didn't.
He wasn't. He did fine. He was integrating into the team, but he didn't really have much going for him.
Yeah, but how often, when a wide receiver gets picked up in the draft, do they really go to them in their first season anyway? Like no matter how good they are. For example, like Devontae Smith was amazing, was amazing in college, and then he came to the pros. His first year was he being, how many receptions did he have?
I think the other thing you got to consider is what the team has already in terms of trusted wide receivers, and if there's much of a relationship there. You know, I mean, good example of that is Green Bay and Christian Watson. He just wouldn't throw to him, and when he did, he missed a couple of catches, and he was like, "Well, I'm not throwing to you the rest of the game."
Yeah.
It's like, big man, like he's your only option right now. Like you've got no options. And
Nah, they had Lazard.
That guy's not a number one receiver. That guy's not a number one.
Yeah, we're lost.
Yeah, I know that guy Lazard. Yeah, man.
Alan Lazard. Yeah.
I was gonna say Kendrick Lazard. But...
Think of Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Sounds similar. It's similar. Jeez.
Oh.
Wow.
But yeah, no, going back to the griddy as well. Going into college, you're not actually allowed to celebrate.
Yeah, so I think in general they're trying to clamp down on over exuberant celebrations.
Just allow it.
They completely shut the door and now they've kind of reopened the door.
Have they?
So there was a while. I mean, you've probably seen the Key and Peele.
With the you should only do 2 pumps. Pump, the rest there like
is like they kind of basically stopped all kind of exuberant celebrations, including pumps. They shut all of that down, and now they've kind of opened the door again. They're allowing a bit more of a celebration because it's a big part of the game.
Of course it is.
Now it's fun.
It's natural.
Of course.
If it weren't natural, then people wouldn't be doing it. No one's going to go out of their way to celebrate. Like, what's the point in that?
Well, the Dallas Cowboys have got like a big cauldron in their end zone, like just behind their end zone, which is for the Salvation Army. And they've just had players when they've been scoring touchdowns just hopping in there and celebrating, which has been really funny. They had all of their 3 tight ends in there playing like whack-a-mole.
That's the stuff that fans love to see. Like, it makes it more entertaining. Why would you clamp down on it?
They brought it back. I think it was taken away from what they thought was kind of the pure element of the game, but now it's kind of come back because it's just fun. It's fans love it as well. It's really all for the fans, right? That's what this whole thing is about. It's for the fans, and I think fans were like, we need that back because it's funny. And gritty is just everywhere right now.
Massive,
it's all over.
I've seen some terrible ones as well, though. Like,
who was it? Mike Gesicki.
Mike Gesicki's one horrendous.
What did they say? It was unseasoned. Oh, that guy. The thing is, he got bullied for it so much he stopped doing it.
Of course he did.
Yeah, man.
Unseasoned is such an accurate description of it as well. It's rude.
Everyone knows what that means.
That's funny. Yeah, that is good.
Tell me some more.
I was going to say we haven't spoken about major differences,
we've picked away 2 now.
There's a lot, but what some of the better ones that I think have been really good for the game. So NFL can end in a tie, whereas college can't. They keep playing until someone wins in overtime. So
I like that.
Yeah. So in America,
what happens in NFL? I thought you had to.
That's 2.
Well, there's two overtime.
No. So in NFL, you have overtime, and then the team that receives the ball, they have a chance to score. So if they score a touchdown, the game is over.
Yeah.
If they score a field goal, then the other team gets a chance to, and then they either score a field goal, and then the game keeps going, or they score a touchdown to end the game.
Did you know that's only in the regular season now, though?
Oh, really?
They've changed it for the postseason because do you know the Chiefs-Bills game from last year?
Come on,
whoever took it first was going to score a touchdown because they were just in such good form. They were just rolling.
That was a good game.
So what they did was they've now introduced a rule where, that's the case in the regular season. But in the postseason, if you score a touchdown, the other team then has a chance to score a touchdown.
Again with the rule change, how is that fair though? Why postseason and
Well, the thing is because it could be decided literally on a coin toss.
Yeah.
Because that's how it happened in the Bills versus Chiefs game.
Yeah.
what for who
got the ball first?
Chiefs went first, scored a touchdown, and Bills don't.
I don't disagree with the rule. I'm saying why is it only a rule postseason?
That I don't. I think potentially because it makes the game possibly longer.
Yeah.
We want that,
and also maybe because they value the playoffs more than the regular season, I guess.
It's the first season they've done it. I'm not because of that Chiefs-Bills game.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what they'll then do. They might bring it into the regular season thereafter if it goes well. But this will be the first postseason they've done it.
Yeah.
So then we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah,
but in college, they can't tie. So they keep playing until someone wins in overtime. But in college, what they do is they start 25 yards out from the end zone and then they just take turns scoring.
What? So they don't actually do a full march at the field.
No.
They just start
25 yards out.
Sorry, say that again.
So in college, what you do is the first team, I think they flip a coin The first team goes and they start 25 yards out from the opposition's end zone. So then they have a chance to score. They get downs. It's the same principle, but it's just start 25 yards away from the end zone. So you try and score touchdowns. If you can't, you kick a field goal and hope that you stop them and get them to score a field goal, or stop them entirely.
That's
No, 20. What?
It creates some amazing games.
So wait. My
Yeah.
question is, if you're 25 yards from the opponent's end zone, why don't you just go for a field goal straight away?
Because the other team could then score a touchdown and they
And then you
win.
lose.
Oh, okay.
And it works
That makes
based on
sense.
downs.
Yeah,
it works
that-
based on
that
downs. So
makes
you,
sense,
you
yeah.
still have 4 downs to go 10,
25.
4 downs to go 10, and you work
Yeah.
it. You work it like
Okay.
you are on any part of the field.
Yeah.
But you start 25 yards out. So you just see.
That's insane.
It's so entertaining. There was a game really recently. I'm going to find it. There was a game really recently which had one of the most entertaining ends. I noted it down somewhere. Let me have a look. It was such a good result. It was one of the bowl games
I was also going to ask, what's the longest one then? If they can just
The
go
longest
and
game?
go and go.
that's ever happened.
Yeah.
It's a relatively new rule.
Oh.
I don't know the longest one.
3 days.
Yeah, imagine it's like a tennis match.
Oh, yeah,
Three
bro.
days, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like 80
Yeah, I would
yards.
have given up. Like, do you flip a coin?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, I'm done. Checked out. Nah, good.
Oh man.
I just had to look up the NFL field. So 25 is half of what it's meant to be at. Just so you knew.
What do you mean?
That they start at 50 yard line.
No,
When the fuck do they start it?
it's not football. You don't just kick off from midway. They kick off
Yeah,
and then
they
you
kick-
receive the
yeah,
ball.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what's it? Don't they kick off from the 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, they kick off from the 40, and then either you
No, I was testing you. Like,
flag
you
it
know, I
down
was
for
testing
safety.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
You know the rules, you know the rules.
Yeah, what's that? No, not safety. It's safe catch, right? Or something like that.
Fair catch.
Yeah, fair catch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then either you fair catch it, or it either ends up in your end zone, so you start from your own 25, or you can just kick return it,
Yeah.
and then and if you're the Bills, you just score 2 touchdowns from kick returns.
It saves you time going out there. That's cool.
Yeah, and that's how you
Yeah.
beat the Patriots.
It was the Kansas Jayhawks.
Kansas State.
Kansas Jayhawks.
That isn't a team.
What is a J-ball?
That I can't answer.
Wait, are we talking about college?
Yeah.
Oh!
Just flip back to the pen and you're like, nah, I've not seen the J-ball because I'm red zone.
You messing with me now. that ain't a team.
The Chiefs have changed up their name.
Washington Jayhawks.
No, oh, this was for the crazy bowl game. It went to triple overtime and ended up being 55-53 to Arkansas, who played the Kansas Jayhawks. I think it was
Wow.
a Liberty Bowl.
Oh wow.
I think it was Liberty Bowl, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it was Liberty Bowl.
So wait, what was the score? What was the score at the end of regulation?
Well, it was triple overtime, so they scored. Presumably, one of the teams scored 3 touchdowns. So my guess is probably 21 points off.
Wow.
So 34.
Wow.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks.
From who?
Yeah.
Take the money where I can get it, you know. So, like, you've almost nearly, not quite doubled, but you probably had 60% of the overall point total before they went into overtime.
That's insane.
So, really crazy into that one, but we'll get into more of the bowl games and stuff in another episode. But
I want to hear some more rules.
yeah, some more good rules. If you punt in the NFL, the kicking team can stop the ball going into the end zone to down it as close to the end zone as possible, so the receiving team have further to go. In the NFL, they can reach into the end zone if the ball hasn't landed in the end zone yet,
I've seen
including
that before,
touching
yeah.
the line.
Yeah.
In college, if the ball crosses the line at all, same as touchdown rules, it's a touchback.
Yeah.
So
really?
you've probably seen it in the NFL. Like you can reach across and like launch
Yeah,
it back.
yeah,
You can like fly into the end zone as long as you're not touching the floor.
It was a crazy play where 2 players did. One went first,
Not-
and another one went
yeah.
right side. Yeah.
Whereas in college, if the ball, any part of the ball crosses over the line, it's considered a touchback. It stops the kind of crazy
Yeah.
flipping.
I
of the
like the
ball.
juggling. It's like cricket
Yeah.
on the boundaries now.
Yeah.
Quite always,
Yeah.
you know, I like that.
I think so too. I think
Bring
that's.
cricket into this podcast, man. What are you doing?
He wants to talk about anything.
Talk about relevant sports.
I don't have 5 days to watch someone. That's not gonna work. I agree. I think the NFL part of that rule is better. I like the NFL version of that rule better than the college one.
Yeah,
But it's a difference they've got. I don't necessarily know why that is, but I think it is worse in college, if I'm honest.
Fair enough.
Another big difference: NFL has a 53-man roster that they sort out.
Yeah.
In college, it's 105.
What, just on the sidelines?
So they have 105 in their team. Yeah, that they can bring on and cycle on.
You can bring on 105 people.
You can play 105
Do you
people
know-
on a
do
game.
you know what?
On Sunday league pitch.
Yeah.
Just grabbing a fan.
105. Where do they stand?
Do you know what? Do you know what? I was thinking this because when I saw the is it the score box from the Georgia game against TCU, there was like 20 wide receivers.
Yeah, just 20 people had received a pass. Yeah.
Well, they all receive? No. Well, surely they don't rotate all.
But some of them will be running backs. Some of them will be.
But still, like that's 105 people in how?
So is that just the game squad, and then there's actually like in the NFL where you got practice squad and everything like that, or is that just the full squad?
So
always on the
105
sideline?
dress.
They have 105 players that can play, yes, in a game. Yeah. You can play 53 players in an NFL team.
Yeah.
You have 53
Yeah,
players
yeah,
ready
but-
to play. It's the same thing.
But how many on average play? It's like 39 or it's like 39.
Yeah, it's like
39,
30
40
to 40,
actually play.
Yeah, it's like it's close to 40.
Why is
yeah.
it so big?
So one of the main reasons is just because you have so much turnover in your team. So
Yeah.
there's 3 to 5 years people play college before they move on to the NFL. Sometimes less, sometimes more. So you need a volume of players because people are just leaving all
I
the
guess
time.
you got freshmen and
Yeah.
but
You'd be starting freshmen. It would be like in the NFL, starting your whole team as first year players
I hear you.
straight out of the draft,
That makes more sense.
right? So I get it, but it's a bag of boys.
Yeah,
It's a lot of boys.
5.
it's too bad.
It's a lot.
Being QB number 8.
You're just sitting on that bike on the side.
Yeah, you don't-
Netflix, you're good. Yeah.
You know you're never playing.
Yeah.
Didn't even get into the practice squads, man.
Yeah,
And that's why you get onto the transfer portal.
Well, we'll get a bit more into the transfer portal, but the transfer portal, is a really interesting addition added a few years ago.
Yes, just mad. Sorry, I can't get my head around.
Crazy. Isn't it?
How do you take a register of that? Like, keep track of it.
You can barely cap that high, man.
And now I get it why that's 1% people make it because if you've got 130 D1 schools with that size squad.
Yeah, but so you'll never get any reps, so you'll never get any film, and that's what is that what the NFL coaches pick you on? I know like high school to college is a lot of film, but people like end up making their own films of just them just like running in the park, someone dashing balls to them and catching like.
You have to, any way to get your name out there, right? Like, yeah.
Which is, well, I'm taking a step back from college, but high school videos I've seen recently is all how much publicity there is for kids just announcing what schools they're going to.
Yeah.
And every kid is just going like 6 caps and then go, wait, no, not that one, not that one.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Imagine something like that happening here. Like,
Yeah,
we're going to Coventry University.
No one cares.
Yeah,
No one cares.
Yeah, no, it's just mad, but
Coventry University. We should mention we went there. We're not just ripping
taking
Coventry
yeah.
ripping Coventry apart. Yeah.
Coventry alum.
Yeah, that would be harsh, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be harsh.
Coventry did have an American football team.
Yeah.
Which none of us played in.
That's what
Senior
they're
Jets.
called, yeah,
Oh,
the
nice.
Jets, yeah.
Were they-
Some say that the New York Jets named their name after Coventry.
Not many people.
Some.
Does anyone know if they were actually any good?
I know we lost to Warwick every year in the American.
You can't,
Sounds about right.
You can't say that stuff, man. We won every game against Warwick in everything.
Just lie. Just lie a lot.
We lost every alumni that I was there. Well, not alumni, but varsity.
Yeah,
Oh,
varsity. Yeah.
Not footballer.
What did we spud him for, man?
He played that game.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
in like 50. Were you not running the line?
He was sat next to Spinner on the bench.
Yes, I was when I was trying to play for the first team. Trying.
You play games, don't worry about
You were
that.
technically present.
Sigh.
Yeah.
I should really defend you, Dami, but no, sorry, mate.
There's nothing you can
There's
do.
nothing to defend,
There's
man.
nothing you can do
There's
for him.
nothing to defend.
There's nothing you can do about
Yeah.
it.
Did you consider playing for the uni team?
Oh, American football, yeah, I thought about it, yeah. Especially because my housemate played for the American football team. He was always trying to get me to go, but yeah, they trained on the same night we played football.
Oh yeah.
And then games were all day Sunday.
Yeah,
they were,
yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday
Westwood,
they played, and it took up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was gone at like 9, 10 in the morning. Didn't come back till late. And I was like, yeah, that's
Were there
Sunday.
many unis that played? Like,
I would assume there would have been a few.
I imagine it's massive now,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was
Would have
actually
been a
quite
few,
big. No,
Yeah, I went to
and,
visit one of my friends. He was at Brunel, and they had quite a big team.
105 roster, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we had
I reckon-
that.
35.
I don't know about
It
all
was,
that, but
it was very much if you turn up, I think you got in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
it
and you're
was-
playing 3 different positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I would love to be long snapper.
Long snapper.
Yeah.
You have zero accuracy, man.
Do you know what long snapper is?
Isn't that one where you throw the ball back?
No.
Isn't that basically?
There's the guy that stands there and launches it
Oh,
through.
you hold the ball then.
Yeah, I hold the ball.
That's not a long.
How's
Look at
that?
your finger shaking now. You're
Yeah.
holding it still.
So what's that called?
Usually third string quarterback
Yeah.
is the one.
Oh, so it's not even a position.
No, yeah, they put they put a low quarterback to do that.
That's
Yeah,
that's
but
also a
no.
violation.
Oh, I actually thought that was an actual position.
No.
Long snapper is a position,
Yeah.
and it's the big guy in the middle who does the long snap for them to kick field goals.
Bro, come
No,
on.
I couldn't do that.
No, you don't have it. in
Imagine
you.
you doing that and having to react
You're-
to stop someone. Yeah,
You're also way too top heavy. It's just
Come on, man.
Shake it.
I go to the gym a couple of times. I'm not that big.
Day.
all in the top.
Yeah.
Thing is, surely when you get told to do the role of holding the ball, that's a violation. That's like being told like in a wall in the football, like to like lie down, like you on the wall.
Yeah.
You're just meeting the wall. You're just present. Yeah,
But that's even better because at least you're playing in the game. You're on the pitch playing. You come on. You're never gonna get any reps. You come on literally just to hold the ball. And if you mess that up, you're never playing. Ever. Imagine the wind blows and it falls over.
Oh, it's bad. It's usually the third string quarterback or the punter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense though.
Because they usually got good hands, so they can catch the ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, they actually have to catch it
Yeah.
and place it.
Place it
I love that
You
you
can't do
started
that.
with that role as well. You've not actually
Yeah.
tried to say, yeah, I could do this, I could be worse.
No,
You've
but-
actually just gone there, settling.
Yeah.
I'm from
Yeah, no,
get-go.
but
I'm
like,
in.
I'm honest with myself. I'm not that athletic.
I thought you were going to be a linebacker. I thought you were a linebacker.
Well, that's what I
Hell
was
no.
gonna, well, before we move on, that was going to be my next question. What position would you play?
Nah, I'm not saying.
Clearly not that position.
What position would you have a go at?
Left.
I would love to play tight end. I would love to play tight end, but like a catching tight end, not a blocking tight end.
So like Travis Kelce.
Yeah, like Travis Kelce or like a like Waller.
Like a Mark Andrews?
Yeah, Mark Andrews. Yeah, even a Gesicki, like
Yeah.
with a better breeding, of course.
You sure?
Okay,
Let's see it.
Nah, I'm
On the table.
Love
Yeah.
to see that.
What about yourself, Bits?
I don't know. I always say running back, but they are like the fastest people in the world. I mean, I feel like I used to be quick, but I ain't got knees for it no more.
Yeah, those pivots.
But the thing is, I'm good. I reckon I was good because I'm good at like finding gaps.
Yeah.
Like, I was always a winger in rugby,
Yeah.
and because like I was quick, I was always much smaller as well. Small, quick. I just down the line rarely got tackled unless I got scared and like ran inside when I was younger.
Yeah. I can see winger and rugby being actually the most transitional
Yeah, because
into that.
Yeah.
and I reckon I've got decent hands as well. So but wide receiver, I don't know. It's all about knowing the routes as well. And that routes.
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 Routes?
And
Routes.
I'll be one of the ones like, yeah. Forget it. I'm like, oh, no man's land. Yeah, give it to me.
Do you know what you'd be? You'd be the guy who's not expecting the ball and get like a doink
Nah.
on the side of the helmet. And you just hit the floor.
That's too far. I just turn
Get
and
the
just.
doink.
Yeah.
One of those
Nah,
guys
I reckon I've got
on
good
the
hands. And they wear them sticky ass gloves as well. Like, it's hard not to drop it. Like just.
Well, did you see that one clip the other day?
Yeah,
The guy took his
Yeah,
take his foot off and still stuck to the floor. I was like,
Remember them pick me videos, them draft for their fantasy drafts, the pick me's. But they used to, there'll be like a it'll be like a running back or something, and he'll be like, pick me, and he's like, this is why, and he'll run through, like jump through a car, both windows, roll out the back, and it's like, or someone is like, he's like, oh yeah, he's on one side like drywall, and then he's like, put it right here, goes round, quarterback throws it, boom, punches through, catches it, pulls it back.
Ultimate hype. It was like. Some people out there believe that though. They're like, he's in my team.
Some of them I was like, there was one where there was a punter, like there was a bell, like a big like clock tower, like so far back, and he would just like bang it, ping, ping, and then someone's like, stop doing that.
Alright, Kriski, your position.
It's either QB. Or wide receiver.
And the thing is, you know he'll be a good
Mr. All-American over here.
Man.
I've got a decent spiral, and then obviously, catching wise, wide receiver, goalkeeper, didn't drop anything, so it's fine.
Oh, he's gone bold.
I'm gonna, you gotta go bold.
I wouldn't be first string.
No.
Like there'd be a big.
All I'm saying, any of the position that he's always contact, I'm losing, so it's fine. I need a position where I've got some element of control where you're not getting hit. Because I'm gonna get broken.
I mean, I'd get busted as a running back.
And it wouldn't be a kicker because goal kicks I couldn't kick the ball, so that's fine.
I remember that quick.
Yeah, we're not getting on.
But you got techers though. I'm sure you could be a kicker.
Can't kick that far though. That was one part of the game I always lacked. I couldn't kick. About halfway line. That was it.
I've seen that video.
Do you know the other thing I couldn't handle about being a kicker is just having one jacked leg and having one not so jacked leg.
Is that what they have?
Like, well, one leg is just they train their legs differently. Planting leg and then kicking leg.
Do they?
Yeah, so you have to train your legs slightly differently, and they have different boots for each foot as well. So you know
What do you mean?
So they have a different type of boot, one for planting, one for kicking. So if you see them, you ever see them? They've got a different boots, one for each foot.
Seriously?
I think I could be a kicker. It would, just have one really messed up.
You do only use one leg for your whole career.
Yeah, I get that.
But surely when you go gym, like I know you can do single leg stuff, but surely it's not every day. Like 3 times as much one to get that much of a difference. You are completely neglected.
You'd be working out your legs differently. So they have, I mean, I don't think it's as stark as I'm one absolute jacked leg and then not. But I just think your legs would be so different. I don't know if I'd enjoy that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, is the position that you were saying?
No, I'd be a slot receiver. I reckon. Don't have to be really quick, but just good hands and then just quick ability to just turn and catch, and then you get hit quick.
You're saying you and quick?
No, you don't have to be that quick. It's what I'm.
But surely you have to be able to.
So what we say like a Juju Smith?
Yeah, just someone who can just quickly just in the slot. You know? I'm not an outside wide receiver because I don't have the space, the pace to beat a safety or a cornerback.
You're just doing those slants, just
a little quick
slant.
So you're literally just catching. That's all you need to do. You not make any yards because
no, just 5 yards,
3, 4 yards.
3, 4, 5
You got
yards.
that in you.
Yeah.
5 yards.
After this, we're going outside. You're already 5 yards.
5 yard dash.
You'll be blowing.
5 yard dash. You know, especially in 40 yard dash. You think I can't even make 5?
Yeah, man, we've seen your stamina.
So,
remember that basketball game?
Which we won, yeah.
Which you almost died. We almost called the ambulance.
But slot receivers get destroyed though.
Yeah, not a long career.
Okay.
One snap. That's
Hey, mama, I made it.
I didn't say I'd have a long, illustrious career. I'm just saying it would be the position that I think I could play-ish.
Yeah.
We want me to be left tackle.
Nah.
Right guard. You think
I'm
I'm
getting beat off?
I'm
Imagine
getting
if you're left tackle or right tackle and you're cute. You just give it to me as a running back and I'll just be like, oh.
Play action.
Everyone's getting hit hard. Yeah. I think it's quite clear none of us could make it in the league.
But interestingly, do you think if we did grow up in, like, knowing your skill sets in football, because we all play football, English football, we all grew up playing, transfer the skills, would you have been able to been decent? Would you actually have made it into anything?
I don't think I would have played NFL, American football. I reckon
if you lived in America,
I would have probably tried to play basketball.
Yeah, I think I would have chose American football over basketball.
I think I probably would have done as well.
Yeah.
I would have tried to be a quarterback.
I wouldn't have done American because I was always small, so I wouldn't have been. I would have thought there's no point because I'm never going to grow taller.
I was
But-
tiny up until sixth form. So yeah, all through high school I would have been
Yeah, I
short
would have
ass,
done
and
American
then
football. Or maybe just football, soccer.
I think the other thing is if you went to that type of school and your parents were encouraging you and stuff,
Yeah.
you might just have hit the gym just incredibly hard because it's just so much more accessible
Yeah.
for schools to be like, yeah, we've got a great American football team. Hit the
oh yeah,
gym.
they train the most nights.
My school didn't have a gym. Like we just had, you
When
know,
you're secondary, high school.
yeah, none of it had like a proper gym. I mean, we had a gym that people could use, but it was like a nice gym. But most schools don't have a
No, I was
proper
like-
gym.
Yeah.
Tiny, like next to the gymnasium, actual
Yeah.
gym, like some little, like 3 weights in there.
Yeah. Whereas a lot of high schools in America will take it really
Yeah.
seriously and have proper gyms. It's
That's
but
because Daddy paid for the gym.
I mean, this is it. Right? It's the funding's
Word.
different.
boosters, yeah, and everything like that.
Boosters,
It's,
yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
So
That's
they
something we
still
need to get into, right?
Do they still have that at the college level as well? Because I swear, obviously, with the
Boosters?
alumni, yeah, they have all the boosters, and then
Yeah,
like, people are
they
so
would do. They
yeah,
would. Yeah.
aligned
Yeah.
to the college
Yeah,
that
they've
they
got
become so
boosters
much
and
more money.
endowments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is it, right? This is why I mean fans often come from the college they went to, like,
Yeah.
and then you turn into a booster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you end up giving money back. Did you guys get one of those emails from Coventry
Well, what?
asking for a donation?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Donate?
Yeah,
millions.
they contacted me and asked me for a
do you
donation.
think
and I
they
was
That's
like,
serious. You sure you didn't get scammed? Are you sure that wasn't Dami?
Why am I the scout now? Come on, man.
yeah, they were like, look, you're one of our alumni, you know, we'll welcome a little donation back. And I was like, our relationship ended several years ago. I don't know, I paid to be there. You want more? You spent it all. Like, I don't understand that you need money from me now. You stopped hanging out like 7-8 years ago. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but this transaction's over.
Yeah, that's wild. I didn't get that.
No.
What if I did? I just delete all of
Yeah,
emails
maybe.
from them.
Yeah, of
Well,
course,
that's
man.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny though.
Yeah. Could never be me.
Question: which game happened first, an NFL game or a college game? Like a professional game or a
I'd
college?
say,
What, in history?
History.
God.
I'd say college, just because I think probably then they formed a professional league.
I
Yeah, I
reckon
agree.
NFL, because I reckon they a group of people like just like it's like joining like pub football teams. They just a couple people just came together, created a team, started playing another team, called it the National Football League, and just played a game. That's the first game on record.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't have started traditionally from
Because then that would have filtered down into
yeah, and then come down
college and
start-
below.
And what year? You haven't said.
Oh no,
you said college.
I agreed. I agree
think
with
college.
Kriski. Yeah.
What year do you think as well for your
Oh,
suggestion?
I'm gonna go. Well, I don't think the NFL started until I want to say 50s.
Yeah, I was gonna say 40s or 50s.
So I'm gonna go mid 40s.
Mid-40s for the NFL. Thoughts?
In terms of when the NFL started, or
Well, you're saying the first college game happened. So
Okay.
when do you think the first American football game, like proper American football game, was played? You think it was a college? What year do you think?
I
that was?
think I'm gonna go early 40s.
Early 40s.
I'll go 20s.
20s.
I'm gonna split the difference. 1932.
So, first college game happened 50 years before professional game.
Wow.
The first professional NFL game happened in 1920.
Wow.
The first college game happened in 1869.
I was gonna go 18, and you threw me off by saying in the 1940s. I was like,
1869 was the first.
what are they playing with?
I don't
Lord
have that
knows.
information, but I can only imagine that it was painful.
Yeah.
Like you've seen
Wow.
games from you've probably seen clips from the 70s and 80s where they were
them like water polo hats.
yeah. Well, that was like the 60s where they were wearing like the leather hats.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you're just gonna die if you take any shot in the head. Like the 70s and 80s, they brought in like the plastic helmets that had like the single line face guard that was like you're doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like they're like braces kind of situation, just one line. Whereas now they've got the proper like
Real.
padded. I mean,
Yeah.
even then, still concussions are a major
I was
issue.
gonna
Yeah,
say
massive.
concussions.
And they've changed rules in the NFL repeatedly to try and limit it. But I mean, it's a dangerous game, but could not imagine playing it. 1869.
I mean,
I don't know.
they clearly weren't wearing helmets.
No pads. Have you
No
no
pads.
No
Nothing.
pads, no helmet, just
Just
gripping
gladiator
men.
style.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
like-
idea.
Men gripping men.
And if they hit each other like they hit each other now, then
yeah, hard.
bro.
You're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And you're hurting them.
Jeez.
Anything above this area is danger. Yeah, problematic.
They probably would have had like screws in their shoes as well to studs.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Imagine how much.
Who was it
that
between?
I actually don't know, but I just know the years and when it first happened. But
Only facts.
we could look it up. But it sounded brutal to me because I'm seeing how hard some of the players were getting hit back in, the 60s, 70s, and some of the clips you're seeing 70s, 80s, 100 years before that.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Yeah, yeah. I'm only playing slot receiver now. I'm not playing. I'm not playing slot receiver in 1869. I would die immediately. Yeah, that would be the end.
Jeez.
All right, last one. So, the last key difference I want to go through. There's lots of other differences, but we won't go into all of them. But the stadium sizes, I always think, are really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Blew my mind.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Have you got?
I looked at the other day.
The averages.
So the 5 biggest NFL stadiums are on average 20,000 seats less than in college.
How does that even make sense?
Mate, have you seen some of the games?
so-
Like
How'd you
the
find the extra
pre-games,
Yeah.
like at LSU and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
man.
Like it's
The Michigan Big House, it's 108,000. I think the Big House is Michigan
How
Stadium.
and do they sell it out every week?
oh mate,
course.
it's jam packed.
Every
Of
week.
course, man.
It's like it's
What's the closest NFL team to Michigan?
Ooh, I don't know who's got
That's
the biggest
testing
stadium.
geography knowledge.
Michigan now.
I don't know. One of the
Minnesota.
one NFL team has got I think an 80,000 seat stadium. 80,000 seat stadium. I'm not sure who it is. You can look it up. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, when? I'm not sure. Where
Who'd you say again? Minnesota.
What in terms of you're
No,
talking
talking
about?
about where's the closest team? What
Are you like
closest team
distance
did
what
you say?
teams from each other?
Yeah.
Not
What,
actual.
what team did you just say?
Michigan.
The
I
college
said
team.
Michigan.
Yeah, so that
I
Michigan
think it might be
team.
Minnesota.
What's the closest NFL team to that? Not
I think
stadium
Minnesota-
size.
I think Minnesota.
In location wise.
I think
Um,
Minnesota.
It's Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
Detroit Lions.
Detroit, Michigan, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Detroit's in
Detroit,
Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so but still, they might still be like 1,000 miles away from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, the distances in America are just so different to here. It's just not even the same.
Yeah.
Conversations, just completely different. I'm just gonna look up the biggest NFL stadium because I couldn't remember.
The
might be
big house.
The Big House, yeah, you looked it up.
Kansas.
Yeah.
It's so big. Oh, MetLife is the biggest with 82,500.
Have you seen this stadium?
Really?
And this
Yeah.
is
Which
full.
stadium is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have they got
the
they
biggest.
got a show on Netflix or
Amazon,
That
yeah,
was
it was
Amazon.
one of
Yeah, I
the
watched
first
that one.
Olympics,
Yeah, I've seen that one.
But
Oh
it's,
yeah.
it's just insane. Like,
But they to sell it out every week like that. That's some dedication.
mate,
man.
and the atmosphere is just
Yeah.
insane. It's nearly
Well-
as good as Molyneux.
Well, that's one of the.
As good as what?
You didn't pick that. He said Molyneux.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So some of the reasons why that is. So college seats are smaller.
College seats
Okay,
are smaller, so
okay.
they pack more
So they
in.
Okay.
pack more in.
Interesting.
Why is that?
I don't know why necessarily. I think it's also
college.
possibly because college people are generally smaller than fully
Okay.
grown
Yeah,
adults
but,
going
if
to
it,
games.
but to have like 100,000, you got loads of adults there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more amenities in NFL stadiums as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but a
a
lot
lot
of these
more.
stadiums, I can imagine it's just like concrete. It's
Yeah.
just.
Well, so with these stadiums, you wouldn't need to have all the hospitality that you'd have for other stadiums, like,
You know,
or do they?
I imagine there's some hospitality elements in a college game, in a college stadium. I don't 100% know the main differences there, but the seats are definitely smaller.
Interesting.
One of the other big things that happened was until 2014 there was an NFL TV blackout policy, so that meant that your game couldn't be televised on TV, i.e. televised, if you didn't sell out 72 hours before kickoff. So up until 2014, no NFL team ever wanted to have a stadium that they couldn't sell out. Because your game wouldn't be televised, couldn't be televised,
Interesting.
so you were risking not having your game televised, which is
Right.
worth way more money to you than,
sure.
than 10,000 extra seats.
Fair enough. I wonder,
So-
do they have to pay, like, how much would tickets be?
for college.
Yeah, college.
College games are much cheaper. I mean, bigger teams will have. I mean, the prices are going to be so variable. For your Virginia Tech, I think it's Virginia Tech Hokies. Oh, that's not Hokies. That's I think that's Indiana. I think it's Indiana. But they will have pretty cheap seats, I would suspect, because they're not going to necessarily sell out all of their games. But a lot of big colleges do just sell out their stadium every week, and they can charge a lot. But
it's because they've got the following as well, because it's all, from what clips, obviously following Georgia on Instagram, it's like, it's a full day, like they are lining the streets, coach coming in, like full atmosphere. It's it's like a day at Wembley. It's
tailgating, big,
That's one thing I want to do in my life. Tailgate inside the stadium.
Oh god,
So you might see bigger NFL stadiums. It really also depends on land and space, because obviously you want to make sure you've got the following in that area, and people will always want to go to NFL games. But tailgating, as we've said before, is such a big deal. But Vegas's new stadium they just built on the end of the strip. I can only imagine how much that cost to build.
That's the thing. I think the NFL compared to the college is probably, they use the NFL. You look at the stadiums now, like Mercedes-Benz, SoFi. It's more an experience. Whereas college is just going to be like just a massive atmosphere. Let's just go watch a game. Like it's your old college. So that's probably why NFL is typically smaller, because they were more about the experience. Whereas college is just let's just make it an absolute madhouse.
Exactly.
Well, it says the average NFL ticket is $151.
Wow.
Like your average Joe can't go and watch that every week. I don't understand.
No.
Interested, and college is it can be as little as 30. Typically, average around 175. How does that make sense?
That's going to be
surely if you go to that college,
it'll be discounted for you or something.
There's student seating. You have specific student sections in college, and I don't know if they're free, but I think they're really heavily subsidised.
Most students go wild.
But it's almost
all painted head to toe, letters all over.
I love it.
But we were talking about the size of stadiums. It's almost a completely different sport. Like we were trying to liken it earlier back to when we played football. How many people came to watch our best team in their biggest game? Like 30, 40.
What, to watch us in Bucks against Oxford Brooks?
Or a cup game, or even varsity was probably the biggest game.
Varsity was the biggest.
Varsity, you get a couple hundred.
A couple hundred.
Which that was pretty big. That was at the old Rico Arena. A couple of hundred, maybe a few hundred. But I mean, these guys are 100,000 people watching you.
Every week watching you play.
And it's the spectacle as well that goes with it. It's like, it's mad. If you watch ESPN, they've actually got college, Saturday football day, isn't it? And it's just everything, like you start in the morning and it's just following college games all day.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to say, was obviously NFL games are always on a Sunday, and the Thursday night game and the Monday night game. But college is on a Saturday and high school's on a Friday, so they have their set day of when they play.
So there's no overlap with watching other sports. So it's
like Friday Night Lights.
Big show.
Dylan Panthers. Clear eyes, full heart.
Can't lose.
Big fan idea.
I need to watch that again.
Who was the quarterback? Was his name
Jason Street?
No, he was Matt Saracen.
Matt Saracen.
Tiny guy.
It's all about Landry.
And the long-haired guy, the guy that was just drinking at 17 non-stop.
Riggins. See, if you talk about these lot, I'll know what he's doing. Talk to me about what are your Panthers called? Carolina Panthers? Yeah, man, I don't know.
You didn't even know the name.
PJ Walker and the boys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Sam
Saracen could have gone pro, you never know.
I don't know about that, man. Jason Street would have gone pro.
Jason Street. Guy got put in a wheelchair.
That is an interesting point on that. That's like about tackling and whether they learn how to tackle, because the whole point of the story of Friday Night Lights is that the main quarterback broke his back because he didn't know how to tackle and just launched himself into someone. Is that something that they teach him?
You've got to know. Well, it's like rugby at school where you're taught how to tackle. I'm guessing in high school you are fundamentals, isn't it?
You're 100% taught how to tackle now. From a quarterback standpoint and position players where you don't really ever need to tackle kicker, punter, and quarterback, they don't let you tackle, but they tell you how to tackle.
So the first time you might tackle might be in the game.
Entirely possible. You'll probably hit pads. You'll probably do pad tackles. You'll test on pads, but you won't hit a real person. And in most cases, they tell them just don't bother. Just don't risk it. It's not worth it. It's not worth trying to
Let
make
him go
that
and ankle
tackle.
tackle.
Try and
And then you break your arm.
But like
That's something Dami would do. Just dislocate his collarbone and just tackle him.
Yeah.
Touch wood, I've never broken a bone in my body.
Oh, is it?
It'll never happen.
I've broken 1, 2, foot and finger.
Why
Yeah,
do
you didn't even know for 3 weeks.
No, we don't talk about that.
Yeah,
we don't talk
about
about
that.
Were you all there? Oh, you weren't there.
No,
No, I was there.
Busted your whole
Don't worry about
foot
that.
apart.
Don't worry about that.
Jeez, busted your whole foot apart.
Is that
Yeah,
our last one?
yeah, that was the main differences. I was going to go over
Nice.
things that I like most about college football and some of the kind of big differences that come along with that. So the point scoring, so much higher scoring in college as you would expect. There's a lot more mistakes that come along with it, so it's a far more entertaining game from that perspective. So over 60 points per game on average in a college game, whereas it's 43.2 in the NFL.
Yeah,
43.
I think that's
Actually, that's quite high.
That's what when I've been watching it is because it's a lot of offense heavy because like the standards in certain areas is very weak.
Yeah.
So then you are seeing much bigger plays like you only look after the national championship, don't you? 65-7. It was like some of the plays like there were just ridiculous.
Yeah, but that also the matchup wasn't a fair matchup
Hey, we
really.
can beat Man City in the FA Cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the quantum of difference, like 65-7 is what? What's that in touchdown?
That's
What's
like
that,
an 11-1.
11-1.
Yeah.
Like, did Wigan beat City 11-1?
Yeah, actually, no, it's
It's like
9-1.
9-1.
It's 9-1, sorry.
9-1.
9-1.
Yeah.
So it's about 9-1, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a few reasons that cause that. So you mentioned a few, Kriski. So running quarterbacks is a much bigger thing in college. You don't see many running quarterbacks in the NFL. Main reason is it's just far riskier. So that's why when you see a big running quarterback, you're like, are you sure you should be doing that?
Yeah.
And if they do, their career is often much shorter. Cam Newton.
Like, oh yeah.
Like G3.
With Lamar Jackson, like why do they allow them to run that much? I know it's part of their game and stuff, but if it's that risky, we know, right, to limit your career.
Because he's so dynamic and so good at it. It's literally like having a quarterback and a running back in one.
You can just flip the switch. It's
Literally.
just like it causes defenses like absolute headaches because the thing about you're just matching up. Just you've got one running back, you got and suddenly the quarterback's off.
Yeah.
But like one little fall on your shoulder, tweak your shoulder a little bit, and you're done.
But that's literally the same for any offensive position. Like if it's a running back, they could just take one hit and they can be.
There is more. They look after because most of these guys are the franchise guys.
Yeah.
Like they are looking after them a lot more. But when it's that game and that's your offense. That's the way you play.
And you learn to slide as well.
Yeah.
But you can't slide in college though, can you? Or
you can give yourself up. Yeah. You give yourself up.
Yeah.
Well, because that was the other rule. Like I said at the start, if any part of your body goes down, you're down immediately. There's no need for contact.
Oh yeah.
Whereas in American football, there has to be contact unless you slide and give yourself up.
Yeah.
It's considered giving yourself up.
What you were probably thinking about is when Kenny Pickett, I think it was Kenny Pickett, did the fake slide.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, you can't. That's cheating. You can't do that. It's like,
That was messed up.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
What,
Pickett,
you
man.
can't do that.
Kenny Pickett. Jeez. Some other things, so everyone is better in the NFL, so it's much harder to exploit matchups, whereas in college, as you mentioned, Kriski, you're getting a lot of mismatches, so you can exploit matchups a lot easier. There are more plays in college as well, so the clock stops more. So every time there's a first down, the clock stops until they reset the down markers in college, whereas in the NFL, they just keep it going. So there's a lot more plays in college games.
Okay.
There can be a lot more plays, not always, obviously.
The games are technically longer then.
In theory, yes. There are just more plays. And spread formation is used a lot more in college. Spread formation for everyone and for the listeners is when you just spread everyone out. You have no running back. It's just all wide receivers. It's just you in the back and you as the quarterback in the back, and you're just everyone's spread out. And it's used in American football in the NFL, but it's far more common in college.
I feel like that would only be used if it was a Hail Mary attempt, right?
In the NFL?
Yeah.
In the NFL, they do use it because you go empty backfield as well. And you probably see it a few times a game.
Yeah.
But in college, it could just be your offense. You'll have a running back once every 4 plays, but you play the spread offense. It's part of your game. It's to just have a load of wide receivers. One of the other things that factors into that, which was one of the differences that I didn't mention earlier, was that the hash marks are a lot wider in college. They're 40 feet, whereas in NFL they're 18.5 feet. So on a field you've got the hash marks where the ball is placed before you snap the ball, between the hash marks, and the ball has to be within those hash marks for NFL. In college it's the same rule, but it's much wider. It's more than twice as wide. So that means that you can place the ball far wider on the field, which means that you can have a lot more wide receivers, or you can have wide receivers in a lot more open space on the edges, which means that you have a lot more opportunity to exploit space. So that's why you get bigger plays, more exciting plays, and you get a lot more opportunity for creative play design in college as well. That's why a lot of NFL teams nick plays from college. You may have heard that.
No, I didn't know actually.
No,
So you said that the hash marks are wider. Does that mean outside the does that mean the whole pitch is wider? The whole field is wider?
Pitch is the same size.
Oh.
But the hash marks are just wider. So that means that you can place the ball on the far left hash mark, and you've got a lot more space to the right.
Getting people lined up all on the left, and then just throwing an absolute diagonal.
Yeah, so that's a much flatter diagonal. Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow.
So you can exploit those spaces a lot more if you've got a good wide receiver. You can exploit that space by putting them over on that side, putting them out on an island.
Space,
you put them out on an island on their own in that kind of space. Match them up against.
Tim Hughes,
Dami trying his best.
Absolutely stuck in treacle, just trying to catch Jamar Chase. He's not getting anywhere near him.
Exactly. You get exposed, but that's kind of one of the main reasons, and that's why there's more points.
Yeah. No, I do love what it's just. I think it's just the games, because obviously you don't actually you can't actually get access to games that much in college. That's the problem.
This was the other thing I was going to mention, which is that we would highly recommend watching college American football. I love it. Dami, I know you watched a lot. You guys are getting into it more now. It is so interesting for the reasons that I've mentioned, the high scoring games, all that stuff. It is more limiting to watch. For the NFL, some of you will probably already watch NFL. You can watch that on Sky on a Sunday, or the games are always played on the Thursday night and the Monday night games. You can see all that. And you've got Red Zone going as well. College, they don't have any of that. BT Sport, you can watch them. BT Sport have a game on the Saturday night, so you can see that. And any games that are played on a Friday, sometimes you can see those too. But it's mostly top 25 teams.
That's the thing. When I was watching highlights on ESPN, but my God, it was faff trying to get them all. But I've looked at the packages, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Ain't got the facilities for that.
Cost of living crisis.
But you can see the top 25 teams play, and anyone that they play. You'll often see games on a Saturday night during the season, which runs until the end of December, and then we start getting into bowl season and then the playoffs, which have just finished.
Yeah, bowl thing confuses me. It's like Peach Bowl. There's
bowls are crazy.
I don't know if you know how it works or how they justify how you qualify for a bowl and some of it.
So I don't know everything about the bowls. They are complicated, but effectively each bowl has its own committee that then picks the teams they want to play. But there's a hierarchy of the bowls. So the top two bowls are always the semi-finals. So those will always be the top four teams playing against each other, and then the national championship game isn't a bowl game, it's just called the national championship game.
This is college, right?
This is college, back to college,
I was following.
You're asking good questions, that's fine. So then you have those two semi-finals that lead to the Natty or the national championship game. But then you have all the other bowl games that get played in the following weeks around that. So then you'll have the next bowl down that then has a committee that then picks two teams they want to play against each other. And the teams can actually decline to play, I believe. They usually don't, because you're going to get picked for a more prestigious bowl.
Sure.
Yeah.
So rarely declines happen, but you can decline a bowl. And a lot of players sit out of the bowl games. They're not mandatory games. You don't have to play. I mean, technically you don't have to play any game. If a coach says you're not playing, you're not playing. But for example, one of the big things that happened was that Bryce Young, who's the quarterback for Alabama, who's touted to go first in the draft pretty comfortably in April, he played in their bowl game, and he didn't need to. A lot of their starters played in their bowl game.
Is the benefit of playing in a bowl game to get you more sort of visibility?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to, I guess, increase your draft stock, isn't it? That's why it's
absolutely.
More reps on film.
Absolutely, and they're always really entertaining games because people sit out of them, so you get a lot of crazy results. I mean, the crazy result I just told you about, the triple overtime in the Liberty Bowl between Arkansas and the Kansas Jayhawks, like that was just the Arkansas Razorbacks.
We've got to do an episode just on. I've got a segment in my head already. It's like real or fake college team.
They're all going to be real.
Real.
We'll
I want to hear names.
We'll get bits involved.
I want to hear some Hingle McCringle brew.
Yeah, the BMS Mountain Goats. We'll get you some
Real.
good ones. Really? Yeah, real.
Don't worry, I'll work on that one.
Yeah, we got some. Yeah, there's some good stuff coming up. There's some good segments coming, but yeah, those are the big differences and why I like it. And yeah, I think that's it from us really this week, I'd say. But as I say, we would highly recommend checking out college American football. Saturdays they're on. Obviously, the season's just the season has ended. It ended at the end of December.
Looking at draft now.
Looking at drafts, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'd highly recommend it. But that's us from the Monday Morning Quarterback UK.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thanks everybody. See you next time.